Mic check, 1 2 1 2. It's your boy B-Rad. What you gonna do? It's BradThomas from GoldBoys.com, and we are talking about the NFL. First and foremost, I want to thank Sleeper Picks. Remember, use promo code GoldBoys or BradThomas on your deposit. You can get up to 500 big ones. I'm a little upset, though, guys. I have to tell you, I'm a little upset. Why? We were so close to smashing the parlay. Jared Goff needed a few more yards, and Amon-Ra St. Brown needed a few more yards. But, man, if the Bucs would have kept it a contest through 4 full quarters, we would have smashed it. And I didn't do the smart thing. I hammered it. But whatever, I digress because there's more money to be made. We did all right last week. I'm ready to go full sweep this week. I'm going to start with the Detroit Lions and San Francisco 49ers. And first, I'm going to tell you, I don't have notes for these. I just have these thoughts inside my brains. Something happens when I bet on sports. It probably happens to a lot of sports bettors, but I dream about the games, right? I have these dreams about what's going to happen. I think it like maybe premonition, maybe not. I don't know if I'm that smart where I can see the future, but what happens in my mind is I see the outcomes or I see teams having difficulties in certain situations or certain areas. And what consistently kept replaying in my mind about this Detroit Lions team is while they have the best run defense in the league, they've really struggled against quarterbacks. I just keep remembering like maybe the last 5 or 6 times that I bet a Detroit Lions game, I was taking the opposing quarterbacks passing over. So then when I went and I looked to see if there was any correlation between my dreams or there was correlation between the actual what's being played on the field and the statistics, it happened. I realized Detroit Lions have allowed at least 300 yards passing in 4 straight games, maybe 5 straight games to the opposing quarterback. So what does that make me think? Is there any value in betting Brock Purdy? Yeah, I guess it depends on what number I see. 270.5 over there on PointsBet. 270.5. Yes, I'm taking the over. I know Brock Purdy wasn't good in his last game. He was awful. He didn't lead a game-winning drive, but to me, it was pretty bad. And I could just go ahead and scratch that out. Why? Because Deebo Samuel was injured. But sure. You might say, Brad, is Deebo Samuel going to play this game? I don't know. But there's a big difference between if someone who you game plan basically your entire passing attack, even some of the running game for gets injured mid-game or early in the first quarter, first you already know and you can plan your entire week without them being in. And despite them having Christian McCaffrey, I know there's going to be limited success in the run game. And when I mean limited success, it's limited success for a guy like McCaffrey. He's not going to go off for $150 on the ground because the Detroit Lions have the number 1 rushing defense in the NFL. So I like Brock Purdy to go over. Staying in the same game, I'm going to go with Jahmyr Gibbs' longest rush over 15.5. I didn't have this one in my dream. So this is not a dream one, but it's definitely me looking at some statistics. It's also me remembering what Aaron Jones just did to this 49ers defense. He ran all over them, ran for over 100 yards in that game, had a couple chunkers. What's known about Jahmyr Gibbs? His explosiveness, his elusiveness, his ability to hit the hole or bounce it outside and get those massive runs. Jahmyr Gibbs has gone over this line in 12 of the 17 games he's played in the Alabama or Georgia Tech product, whoever wants to claim him, they claim him. I don't care. Just he knows he went to one of those 2 schools, Roll Tide. He is the guy that could literally burst like a freaking rocket out of a bottle out of that backfield. We noticed what Dan Campbell did, right? At the beginning of the season, he said, we're going to use Jahmyr Gibbs a ton, yada, yada, yada. Like no yada, yada, yada. He was just talking bunch of smoke, right? But no, if you really paid attention throughout the season, Jahmyr Gibbs' role became more important. Jahmyr Gibbs was not just that guy on passing downs coming in on 3rd down and running the ball or catching a little pass. Actually, I think his targets kind of went down as the season progressed. Why? Because he was getting more of the carries. Snap share went up as the season progressed, and opportunity is all you need for a guy like Jahmyr Gibbs. Let's talk about this game. Kansas City Chiefs, Baltimore Ravens. It's tough for me because I don't know if the Chiefs are going to win or the Ravens are going to win, but I do know 2 things. Lamar Jackson wants the ball in his hands, and Lamar Jackson's team is going to run the hell out of the ball. Maybe I know a 3rd thing. The Kansas City Chiefs are not the same Kansas City Chiefs as they were before, and that's not a knock on them. That's just me saying that Kansas City Chiefs aren't throwing these big explosive plays. It's actually kind of better for them now. They have a guy who runs like he's mad at the world, Isaiah Pacheco. We've taken him over and over and over, and probably going to take him again over again. They run the ball with him with crazy effectiveness, and they run the ball a lot. I'm taking Patrick Mahomes. And you might say, how are you taking Patrick Mahomes, Brad? Are you going to take over or under? Just don't call me crazy. I'm betting is under. 2 years ago, 3 years ago, we wouldn't have done that. I'm betting under 243 passing yards. Patrick Mahomes didn't hit this in the last game. And a lot of it had to do, they were really reliant on Isaiah Pacheco and running the ball. And also because the Buffalo Bills have a really good pass defense. Who's better than the Buffalo Bills? Who's number one in the NFL in pass defensive DVOA? The Baltimore Ravens. Baltimore Ravens ranked number one, only allowing 218 pass yards per game. But there's some correlation with how both teams are going to play this game that makes me love this under a little bit more. Both are going to run the ball. That means limited possessions for both teams. Also, not to mention the weather. If you look at the forecast, this game's played at 3 p.m. in Baltimore. It's supposed to be cold and rainy. Hand the ball off. If he goes over the 243, whatever, it's whatever. I don't care. I'm just saying that this is a good line that I'm going to have to play. Could be tempting fate, but he doesn't have the Tyreek Hill. And MVS can't catch. He's throwing passes underneath. They're running the ball. So it's Patrick Mahomes under 243 and a half. I want to say this one last thought because, I felt like I haven't talked to you enough or haven't given you enough opportunities to make enough money. I think it's smart to tease both underdogs in this situation. Patrick Mahomes only not covered in the playoffs, once or twice in his playoff career. You bring him all the way up to 6.5, 7, depending on what books you get. Yeah, sure, this team the Ravens just beat out the Texans. But I don't care about that. Why I don't care about that? Because that was a rookie quarterback, rookie coach. Ravens were the number one seed, looked like it too. And then Detroit, you get them up to 13.5, 13. I think they could win the game. The city of Detroit is ready to be burned to the ground with the fans absolutely riding when they make it to the Super Bowl. With them being live, them being able to run the ball, their offensive line holding up, and their defense getting to the quarterback, I do believe they're a live dog. So you're getting them so high is so great. I know it's not great to tease teasers outside of the key numbers, which is why I didn't give it as official play. But I had to tell you what I think is going to happen in each game. Super Bowl prediction, Detroit Lions, Baltimore Ravens. Listen, I haven't told you guys and I haven't invited you guys. Please drop your Super Bowl predictions in the comments. While you're at it, smash the like button, ring the bell. That'll notify you when we go live. I don't have any other bets. I wish I did. Touchdown scores. I wish I had a whole lot, but I don't. But if you are looking to play some action or you want to go on Sleeper and you don't know how, look in the description. We have the link. It tells you how to get there. So I want to thank our sponsors. And I want to get on a serious note. Remember, gambling should always be fun. So if you have a gambling problem, pick up your phone, dial 1-800-GAMBLER. I'm Brad Thomas from goldboys.com. Best of luck, and may your bets hit.